Howdy, my name is Jacob, and in this critical time of COVID-19, we must social distance. For many, social distancing is incredibly difficult, and being forced to do so is driving them insane. Of course, there are ways to mitigate the torment. We live in a super interconnected society due to all the technology we possess, and using said technology, we can communicate with friends and family regardless of the quarantine, whether it be more traditional methods like letter writing or sending an email, uh, forms of chat systems like texting, or even phone and video calls. I'm going to go into further detail regarding these methods and explain the pros and cons of each. So, first off, would be the more traditional methods like letter writing and emails. Nothing beats an old fashioned handwritten letter. It can really show that you care by taking the time to write a letter by hand just to let them know how you are doing, while also asking how they are doing. It gives off a feeling of intimacy. However, this method has greatly fallen out of style in recent decades. For most people, it takes too long and it also is way too formal. It feels more like something one would do to confess their undying love, and not a simple thing to check in on your friends. And then emails. Emails are a lot more commonly used today than handwritten letters, but even then, it may not be the best form of checking in with friends. Just like letters, emails are considered pretty formal, and and as such, they are typically seen as more of a type of thing you would send to your boss as an urgent thing instead of just checking in. So, however, a more formal method has merit. Perhaps you want to check in on your uncle across the country or a grandparent. Oftentimes, in those situations, the family member might appreciate a more thought out email that tells you how you are feeling and just does a regular checkup on them. The thought put into one of those can really show that you care. Now, letters may be nice, but realistically, most of us will want to use some form of chat system to communicate with our friends during COVID. The most obvious of which being plain old texting. It's simple and clean. You have someone's number, you type a message, you send it. Unlike with the formality of emails, texts are often pretty casual in nature. You can send a simple, "Hi, how's it going?" and someone's way, and that's all it takes to have a short conversation. It also takes a little commitment. You can text someone off and on for the duration of a whole day, or you could respond once every 5 hours and do only like 5 texts for the duration of the entire day. Well, not five, but you get the point. Or you can text for 5 minutes and be done. Overall, little pressure and very easy. The biggest hurdle is that you need the other person's phone number in the first place. Or perhaps you aren't big on sharing your own number with people. You never know. Well, in that case, social media is our answer. A social media account, though personal, is far less bothersome to tell someone than a phone number because you don't need to change it if you want to escape those people. You can just direct message people through sites like Instagram or Facebook. You can even use them to message people you might not have thought to otherwise, basically total strangers or just people there's no way in heck you would have gotten their phone number. And on to the last communication method, phone and video calls. They both fall into a similar vein of communication. However, let's talk phones first. A fairly old method, but quality. With phone calls, you are able to engage in a verbal conversation with the person like you would do in person. Of course, this is a pretty close to actually being with a person and works great for deeper conversations or just to get someone's opinion. And with a video call, like FaceTime, it works pretty similar, except you have to worry about being in frame, and you can also focus on the other person's face to get a greater read on their emotions. And of course, there is an extension of video calls with apps like Zoom, which enable a video conference with many people, which can be a great way to catch up with multiple people at once and have a good time. You can even use apps like Zoom to play certain computer games as if you're all in the same room, like the Jackbox party games, if you're familiar with those. Quiplash is a lot of fun, just throwing it out there. Of course, speaking of video games, you can also play online games with a voice chat feature to catch up with your buds. Think PS4 or Xbox Live. Those both are roughly the same. The only real con to this that comes to mind is if you're the type of person that doesn't like talking to people verbally, yeah, you're probably not going to want to use any of these because you don't want to talk to people. So, in conclusion, we have three main branches of communication that all have their pros and cons. Whether you want the more formal method of writing a letter or email, sending texts, or direct messaging through social media, or engaging in a phone call or video conference, it's up to you to weigh the perks and the drawbacks and decide which is best for you or the given situation. They all have their time and place. So, with that, I hope you all are a bit more informed on the general gist of which communication method you might want to engage in with your friends during this pandemic. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye.